The Creative Process Podcast. With Peter Papaggiorgio and Catherine Renee.
Welcome to the Creative Process Podcast. I'm your host, Peter Papaggiorgio, and my co-host today is, well, she's always my co-host, is my beautiful wife,
Catherine Natali and Chanel Bella.
That's right. That's our dog, Chanel.
All right.
Now, today's guests, they're a power couple, entertainment power couple in Las Vegas.
And the world.
They're writers, directors, producers, and actors. And I'm going to give you a small handful of films they've actually done. Trust me, if you go to the IMDb page, it's like this long. They've done films Night of the Falling Stars, Teachers Watching, Dirty Little Secret, Taboo 3, The Unforgettable,
Yeah, Taboo.
and the web series Red Herring, which my wife and I are both in, and we had a blast working on it.
Yes, we
Anyway, let's welcome Bobby and Renee Peoples of the TPN Network, the People's Network.
Yay.
Yay.
Thank you for having us.
Well, thank you for being on the show, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
So let's start with Bobby.
Okay.
Bobby, tell the audience a little bit about yourself. Where'd you grow up? And
Okay. Bobby, obviously. I was born in Newark, New Jersey, but I was raised in Richmond, Virginia, under my grandparents' tutelage.
I never knew you were from New Jersey.
Yeah, Newark.
wow.
I was born in Newark, New Jersey.
I
I
remember
only lived
Newark.
there for like 3 years, from my 6th to 8th grade. Then I moved back to, I was born in Newark.
Right.
As a baby, moved to Virginia, lived with my grandparents until 5th grade. Then during that 5th grade, 5th to 6th grade summer, I moved to New Jersey with my mom at the time.
Right.
Stayed there till my 8th grade. Then we moved back to Virginia. So then I was, high school in Virginia. Then I went to college the first time in Philadelphia. Then came back to Virginia, joined the Army, moved to Texas. Then left to Texas, moved back to Virginia, then back to Philadelphia. Then left Philadelphia, go back to Richmond. Then decided to move to Georgia. Now I'm in Vegas.
Wow.
Now, how many years was your stint in the Army?
I did 2.5.
Okay.
Yeah. I would have done more. I actually would have stayed in the military, but at the time, my wife at the time, she was very sickly, and I got orders to go to Korea.
Right.
Get orders like that, you got to be here for a year. So I couldn't leave my family for a whole year to be without her. So either you go to Korea or you get out. So I say, okay, well, it's been real. I got out.
You gotta do it, yeah.
So, yeah.
Renee, tell the audience.
Oh, okay. Well, born and raised in Detroit, Michigan. Moved to Atlanta when I was 29 years old.
Like last year.
And yeah, sure. I stayed in Atlanta for 15 years, and then we
Wait. You forgot the most important part. You moved to Atlanta. You met me.
You didn't say nothing about meeting me, though. You didn't say I moved to Atlanta, met my wife. So I moved to Atlanta.
Bobby, she is right.
I mean, but
She's making a good point.
yeah, she's making a good point. But it's all about me.
He wanted
so
to be all about him. No, I moved to Atlanta. There, okay, yeah, I met my husband. Yeah, and then we moved to Vegas last year, June the 11th.
we left June 11th.
Right in the middle of the pandemic.
Now, you guys were on my on my other show that I used to have, which is actually on the All Aspects Radio Network, webseriesonfire.com.
Yep.
And I had it was for
Dexter Jackson.
Dexter
We had
Jackson.
just met.
Yeah.
That was because I had a web series called All About Manos, and Peter had interviewed them, and then
we met in L.A.
In LA, yes.
Yeah.
And we came face to face, and of course we met on the red carpet. And who would ever think that years later we would all be in Vegas?
Yeah.
Never, because Vegas wasn't even on our radar.
I know,
Right.
I know, and it's like really crazy.
Now, do you guys you've been here a little bit over a year? Do you think it was the right choice?
Oh,
yeah.
Man.
We know that it was the right
Perfect choice.
Absolutely.
So tell us about
now in regards to someone asked about talent.
Okay.
Do you find there's, I don't want to say better talent, more professional talent here in Vegas as opposed to Atlanta? Is it even? Is it just hit or miss?
To be truthfully honest, we've worked with some actors here, not a lot.
Yeah.
The ones we've worked with thus far has been absolutely wonderful.
Right.
Great work ethics, different things like that. But we have heard about some things here that some actors that don't show up or
they're
don't
flaky.
follow
Yeah.
through
They're
or
flaky,
don't.
yeah.
So that part bothers me. In Atlanta, we know that in Atlanta it's a competition pretty much with the actors in Los Angeles. So you got to bring your A game.
Good.
So a lot of Atlanta actors are professional.
Okay.
They will show up. They will say and do what they say that they're going to do.
Yeah.
So we didn't have that problem.
So what's the
In
difference
Atlanta.
between Atlanta film market and here? Is there? I mean, obviously here in Vegas, we're so close to Los Angeles, and we get a lot of people from Los Angeles do come to Vegas to act, and vice versa. Is there any difference between? Is it more of a community in Atlanta, or is it?
Well, it's what you make it. You know, all of our friends in Atlanta are in the business. You know, the actors, directors, whatever. And like I said, we're gonna be here a little over a year, but think about it. You guys are in the business too. You guys are our good close friends of ours too. So it's what you make of it. You know, I won't say there's a better or worse side of it. It just certain people have different energies that you want to work with them or you don't want to work with them. You know, so
Yeah, it's true.
I look at it from that standpoint. And if an actor, we hire actor and he or she doesn't show up, he or she knows that we won't get a call again.
Never.
You know what I'm saying? So it keeps moving. You know, the one thing about Renee and I is that we create content. We constantly creating content. So we also creating opportunities.
Right.
So
And what happens? People they cancel themselves out.
yeah, they cancel themselves
That's
out.
right.
So you know, and then and still, no matter where you go, it's a small knit community. So if there's an actor, you say, hey, you know, so and so, we work with this person, and he or she was good or bad. We'll have a conversation. Say, hey, you work with so and so. You'll be like, well, yeah, they don't show up, or it was too much this, that, and the third. So we know not to deal with that particular person. So it's if a person want to put their reputation on the line like that because we're independent, then that's on them. You know, because like I said, people just now, you know, I've had filmmakers contact me, being here less than a little over a year, and say, hey, you work with so and so person. How were they on set? And I tell them he or she was good, or he or she was. I doubt if I ever work with them again. You know what I'm saying? But it's up to them to
Without
decide.
really going into detail.
Yeah, so it's up to them to decide if they want to deal with them again. You know, it's only that. Like, you know, it's only been one person that we've worked with that I would never work with again. My wife might work with them, but I won't work with them again. Because she's more forgiving than I am.
So tell us about your writing. How do you start writing? What time in the morning do you write?
Do you guys write together?
Do you write
Yeah.
together?
Is it always?
Not always.
Not always.
Most of the
but
time, yeah.
Most of the time,
Yeah.
we do write together. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, let's say, does Bobby come up with an idea and you kind of start flushing it out together, or vice versa?
Yeah, what
Yeah.
we do is, especially for our feature films, we if he comes up with an idea or I come up with an idea, we'll sit down, we'll outline the entire script,
Yep.
and then we go in and plug and play.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much how we
Tell
do it.
me the creative process for Red Herring, since we were in.
Well,
That
actually,
was him. He wrote that.
yeah, I wrote Red Herring. Red Herring was actually it was a project I did in school. It was called
Munchausen?
Munchausen Affliction.
Munchausen.
Yeah, it was called
Munchausen?
Munchausen. Yeah, and it was a short. It was shorter than that. So, and it was something I had to do for class. And I liked the story because of what the topic was. So I was like, Renee, I really want to redo this project, but I want to add more to it because I think, you know, we can center a story around it. You know, how it affects people. So I just kind of you know, added to what I already had, went back to, you know, add some stuff here and there, and kind of made it into a little series that we could spin off to. But to go back to the whole writing process, I even discussed this in our book on Amazon. How to Make Movies and Money Manual, $20.
Plug.
Is, you know, the easiest way I tell writers, because, you know, if you understand the 3-act structure, you know what I'm saying, you know, they have the beginning, middle, end, stuff like that. If you understand that process, then every movie is the same.
Yep.
Every movie is the same. Is beginning, middle, end. So what Renee and I do, she said the outline is like, you know, we are number out. And I'm going to give you guys a real quick lesson. Say you want to do a 90-page script, right? 90 pages, and they say, okay, 1 page of script is equals 1 minute on thing, which is fine. That's good observation. So what you do is you get you a legal pad, yellow legal pads, number it 1 to 45, 1 to 45, and so you know at 15, that's your first act. At 30 is your second act, and 45 is your conclusion. So basically, you number 1 to 45, and for each of those, you write an outline. What's happening?
Bullet points.
Your bullet points. He or she got up this morning. He or she got this conflict, whatever the case might be. Then come to page 30. Oh, now the conflict either got bigger or we throw in another mix. Oh, then by the time we get to 45, we got to wrap all that up. So once you write down what happened step by step through 1 through 45, you go back and then plug in the dialogue. So if you take that same method, 1 through 45, and at least write 2 pages of dialogue per bullet point, you got your 90-page script.
Right.
And you've already hit the beats on where you need the script to go. That's in my book.
And it makes it so much
And what's the name of the
easier.
book?
How to Make Monies in Movies Manual. Step-by-step instructions.
Yeah, he needs to update that book.
I do need to update it. Yeah. But, as you were saying?
No, I was saying it just makes the process a lot easier.
Yeah.
Especially if you have a team of writers, or if you're writing with someone else, you can go in and say, okay, well, what point did you leave off on? Okay, well, then I'll go ahead and pick it up from there.
Right.
So we go back and forth.
Right. So
That's good because it's a lot easier to write with someone because you can, if you get stuck,
Yeah,
then she can
that's
help
true.
you. Vice
yeah,
versa
but yeah,
and all that.
it happened. We talk it out, and like I said, once the bullet points are there,
The outline
it's it.
yeah.
You know, because
Now, what about exploration though?
What?
You have the outline.
Yeah.
yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. That's, with your dialogue, you kind of add that what's happening, what they're
Okay.
talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I
But
said,
sometimes if you're running the dialogue and the characters kind of start coming to life,
Yeah.
yeah.
they could start taking a direction that you didn't even foresee.
Well, yeah, that happens too. And
Yeah.
you go back and you do a little foreshadowing. But like I said, at least you get your first rough draft done. I mean, we literally just wrote a movie like in a week. You know, we did an outline. We would have done it quicker, but you know,
We sat down for how many hours? Like 4 hours.
4 hours a day, yeah.
we did 4 hours a day. We said, okay, we're going to start at this time and we'll wrap it up at this time.
Mm-hmm.
We did 4 hours a day. First, we did our outline. That took about maybe 2 days, roughly 2.5
yeah, 2.5.
days. And then once we did say, okay, we gave ourselves a deadline. But we like to beat our deadlines.
Oh, yeah.
So, but we love giving ourselves a deadline. And then we say, okay, well, this is what we're going to do each day and how many, we're going to knock out within that time frame. So we don't get burnt out because
Right.
you can get burnt out.
You can,
You
yeah.
can sit there and be like, I'm going to get this done. And you be on that screen for 12 hours and you
Right.
be just burnt out. And we don't want to do that. So, so that's how we do it. And it stays fun. It stays fresh. You can go to bed, think of new ideas. You can dream
Right.
about it. You
Right,
can,
yeah.
and then get up and be like, oh, I had this idea. Let's do this.
Because it gets it's almost like I can't wait to start writing it tomorrow.
Right.
Right,
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
You have to force yourself
Yeah.
to cut it off, though.
Yeah.
So Renee and Bobby, you're also actors. Do you have any advice for any actors that are starting out?
Yeah. Take her acting class.
Yeah.
That's the advice I say.
Well,
Starting out, yeah.
At the end of the process, we'll give the contact information.
Definitely I always tell my students, yes, take acting classes, especially ones for beginners. And then from there, you want to study your craft. You want to learn the audition process and
Etiquette.
audition, and get on these independent films. Like, this is your training ground. We tell people, like, you're independent filmmakers, that is your training ground. That's how you can get your footage. Hopefully you make sure you research the producers, but get your footage for your reels, and get that and build it up that way. A lot of people forget that, Mark. They want to jump in, make a bunch of money, or try to make a bunch of money, and it doesn't go that way. You need your training
You
ground.
need to work for it.
What I liked working with you guys was, as an actor, was you gave me room.
Oh,
You
yeah.
want like, this is the way I want it. It's
But
like,
if
I mean,
you're
you had a vision and all that, but it's like I didn't feel like, I kind of felt free when I
Yeah.
was working on your production.
We got experience, but
Yeah.
if it's a beginner, they're not going to know.
They not.
Right.
They're going to want you to tell them this, that, hold their hand, and then and also I was going to say a lot of actors want it, but they're afraid of rejection. So how do you guys handle rejection, or like if you're going up for a part and you don't get it?
Oh well, that's most her thing right there. I don't
So
audition for
what
nothing.
yes, you do.
No.
You do
I
audition.
don't audition for nothing.
Yes, he does.
If I get the part or I don't.
He auditions. We just got finished doing an audition for him. But what happens is, and another thing I tell my students is, you do that audition and you leave it there.
Yep.
Yeah.
don't
Yeah,
carry it with
don't-
you.
That's true.
You know, and say, okay, I did that audition. I'm not going to be like checking my emails constantly. Like, did they call me? Did they call me? Because it will run you crazy.
It's
You're
gonna
going to
eat
get
you up.
more no's
Yeah.
than you do yes.
Yeah.
But that one yes is going to take you to the next level that you need to go to.
But be prepared
don't-
for that yes.
Right. But don't just, sit there and harp on it, and then it will discourage you. Like sometimes I gotta encourage myself just to keep going, you know what I mean? But it's like I have to do it, and nobody else is going to do that for you. You have to have that within yourself. So you do that audition, you leave it there, and you move on to the next.
Yeah.
That's it. It's a numbers game.
It is.
Yeah.
It is a numbers game. And a lot of people don't realize that casting, because you do casting.
Yeah.
So I know you do casting for your projects. Anything you can say about casting?
Yeah, in regards to casting,
Yeah.
because when I was auditioning for Red Herring, and the therapist was for a man,
Yeah.
and then Catherine auditioned, and she
And
says,
we-
"Well, it's for." I go, "Well, do it anyway."
Yeah.
You can't.
You know?
I mean, you never know.
And we changed it.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
changed it. Yeah,
changed it
I mean,
for
because
a
sometimes
woman,
it goes with the character. I mean, like she brought something that when we wrote it, I didn't see it that way. Like I thought it could be a man situation because the lead was a female, so I thought the contrast would be in my head. So I thought it would be better. But when I saw Catherine's audition, I'm like, oh snap! Can I say? Can I curse?
Yeah.
No, don't.
Okay.
You can curse.
Oh
Well,
snap! Oh snap! Catherine did good, and also it was good because it's an opportunity to get to work with Catherine and you at the time. So it was great. People I want to work with. I've seen their work behind the camera, so I think it'd be a great opportunity. But that doesn't happen all the time because we put an audition out there and say, okay, we want a 16-year-old girl, for this role. Just because you feel 16, but you may be 45, don't go out for that particular role.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to look at it from that standpoint too. But the main thing about Catherine's audition is that, and a lot of people who don't get roles, is that they don't show confidence in their audition.
And they don't follow rules.
They don't follow rules. That's real rule number one, because once a casting goes out there are specific steps and instructions that you need to do. It's not because we're trying to be anal. It is the fact that when you get so many submissions and you got to go through those emails, like, okay, I don't have time to be looking for something. If somebody line and say, hey, put in the character who you're auditioning for, don't put nothing else but that character's name. So when we go to a search engine, we can just type in that character's name and
yeah.
find all the auditions that, okay, well, we got 5 auditions for Michael.
Right.
But we got one person to put in Michael or so-and-so. Like, just be specific. And if you want to do multiple auditions, then send in separate emails.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So follow the instructions in detail, because a lot of times, like I don't do the audition process. She does the video stuff. And I'm telling you guys a little secret. If I notice, because I put out the descriptions of what happens and how they need to detail it. If it's anything other than that, she won't see the audition because I'll be done deleted the email.
And now I've learned, like, you know what, I'm gonna check this trash bin and see what's going on, because he will
I'll
delete
delete
it
it.
because they didn't follow instructions, and that's the beginning part. As a director, also, it's like you want somebody that's going to be
follow
able to
directions.
follow
That's
instructions.
following and listening.
Yeah. So I'll be personal. If you're not going to follow the directions in the process, in the editing, in the audition process, you're going to be difficult on set.
It's just discipline.
Yeah.
I mean, because when you're on set, you have to be disciplined. You have to follow directions. But if you cannot do that on your actual tape, then that's a no-no. So people, please follow directions.
I worked with some actors. I after I said I will never work with these people
Yeah.
again. Never.
Yeah.
They're draining. It's like it should be fun.
Oh yeah. The
Professional-
minute that it becomes
professional
unfun,
and fun.
Yeah.
The minute that it's not fun for me, I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, because we do too many projects to where's the point where I feel like I don't want to do this no more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because of an actor's attitude, or not even actors, just crew in general. Just
Yes,
people in general.
you still have to deal with crew,
Right,
and
so-
you got to deal with a lot of moving pieces.
Right.
Yeah.
So
But do you guys use the same crew for the most part, or no?
Well,
So,
for
I mean-
our other projects that we're hired directors on, then the producers hire the crew,
Right.
and we come in as hired directors. So
Right.
you don't know who you're going to be working
No,
with.
that could
Right.
be.
It can be. I mean, and we've had some doozies. It's like, oh God, is this the right field for me? But so you do have that. But then for us, for our own TPN, we have full control over that.
Yeah.
So we try to find people that we know that we are going to mesh with. So
That are
far,
reliable and all that.
yeah, I mean,
Las
and
Vegas, we haven't found we haven't found our crew yet.
Right.
So, and we're still looking.
Still looking, because we
Yeah.
put opportunity. We give opportunities to other people. Like, we own all our equipment, so if we say, hey, come be a DP or come be a camera assistant, something like that, all you gotta do is show up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
You don't have to bring.
You gotta bring
equipment.
anything. So if you don't show up, don't look for another call, because
Yeah.
the opportunity only could go out one time.
That's right.
Yeah, and it's paid training.
Yes, yeah, I mean, it's not
we
like
train
saying-
you, but we also pay you for your time.
Right,
It
we're
ain't
not
gonna
gonna-
be what you probably make on a bigger.
Right?
check,
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
you know,
You're not gonna
it's-
retire or nothing
Right,
like that.
we pay you for your time, and then it's a training ground for you.
Right.
You know, so
I don't know. You're always learning, even if
Yeah.
you think you know. everything,
Always.
you're always learning. This profession that we're in, it's constant.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and a lot of young people, they just think they're going to be famous like in a year.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
They don't want to work with
They
it.
don't
No.
want to work.
They just want to be famous. That's
Yeah,
it.
I mean, that's fine if that's their
This
goal.
is a microwave
Yeah.
society where everything has to be done
Yes,
within an
yeah.
instant, and it's not realistic.
Well, it's the TikTok age. I mean, people
Yeah.
become famous on TikTok. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like I said, it's nothing wrong with that. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. You got to understand, every production crew is not like that. We're not like that. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to build, momentum. We're trying to build people that we can bring with us. Like,
longevity.
longevity. Like, when we go do stuff for a big network, stuff like that, which we do, sometimes we're given little opportunities to bring in people, that we've worked with in the past. Like, actress we worked with in Atlanta, Princess. Saying she worked on Dexter Jackson, and now she done, she worked with us on these two big projects. On this big project, Teachers Watching, she done like 3 big projects already outside of that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Just on that
just
referral
the referral alone,
Yeah.
because
Right,
we was
yeah.
able to bring her up with us. Now, we can't bring everybody, you know what I'm saying, because it's different roles and different scenarios. But we was happy that we was able to bring somebody that we brought, who was under us, who worked with us, on the low, no budget stuff, is now, making, some money, doing what she loved to do. Because the time that we called her, she was ready to quit. And she was like, she was on it, like, you know what, I'm tired, just very discouraged. And we got the call.
Which happens, yeah.
Yeah, it happens. So now she's
been on
projects after
booking
project after
and booking
project
and
after
booking.
project.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't for us working with her and her working and trusting us, and then when the opportunity came up, we said, hey, you know what? She's always on time. She always knows what she needs to do. She shows professionalism at this level. So I imagine what she's going to show at the higher level.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And she showed and improved.
That's that work ethic.
Work ethics.
Now, on a side note, is any family members creative in your family, like your mom, your dad, your brothers and sisters? Or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, for instance, your mom.
Let's not talk there.
Okay. And then on my side, I come from a musical family. My dad, my brothers, my family is in music. On the creative side, my
That's
mom.
right. You were telling us when we went to my mother's house.
Yeah.
The restaurant.
Oh,
the restaurant
yes.
in Vegas called my mother's house.
Yeah, my mother's house. Yeah,
Yeah.
So they're all music, and then I have my son. He's creative in his. Well, no, my oldest son. Yes, Jamari. He does his music, and he's acting and different things like that. So
Back in Atlanta.
we do. So it's like we have that music and acting intertwined in our family.
Nice.
Mostly her side of the family.
And
Yeah.
your side, Bobby?
Not, I'm the only
Nobody
creative
really
person in the world.
Wow.
No. There are some creative people in my family. They're doing their own thing, and I'm doing my thing, and we just got to keep it separate.
Right,
Yeah.
right. There are people who are creative and technical too.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Well, I think nowadays, if you're an independent filmmaker, you have to be both.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's basically
You have to
working
learn the
camera.
software. You got to learn
He's
the
working, he's doing
everything.
all that,
Yeah.
and then he has to be creative and creating content.
Exactly.
Do you think creating content is the way to go right now?
Oh,
Is it the way to
absolutely. I mean, there's so many
Absolutely.
opportunities. I mean, there's more opportunities now than it was 5 years ago.
Yes.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
agree,
And
yeah.
so,
Yeah.
until another 5 years. So the thing now, if you guys out there creating content, create as much content as you can and own it. Don't give it to nobody. Own it unless they're paying you a check. You know how many emails I get and inboxes from these up and coming channels all the time? It's like, hey, we start this channel next week. We need content. Great. How much are you paying?
We're not paying.
Right. So,
But it's an opportunity.
but it's opportunity.
To be
Yeah.
seen,
I'm saying it's opportunity.
Okay,
So,
well, if it's an opportunity for people to see it, what's your subscription base?
right. So,
What is show us something? You know what I'm saying? Which I mean, if it's to start off, because we had a Roku channel, as well, and
But
we're
we paid,
grateful.
though.
We're grateful that we had people to give us their content, but we did pay.
We did pay.
They got portions of the subscriptions
All right.
that we
Do you still have
that
it or
we
no?
had.
No, we
we
dissolved it.
dissolved it because it just
Too much
started to
work?
become too much, and then
Yeah.
you have a lot of these. It's so many other streaming platforms
Right.
that's coming out, so it was just too much for us to really be able to focus and keep up.
Right.
We are creatives in our own right, and it was taking us away
Right.
from that.
Yeah, I can see
Right.
that.
So
Yeah,
when you
yeah.
start getting to that point, and then it becomes a headache, then okay, this is not where we were supposed
Right.
to be at this
But
particular
we
time.
got so much content that when they want
Yeah.
to come license it and and make the numbers sound good, we're not saying make us millionaires, but make the numbers sound good.
Yeah,
Then we got content in the vault. Hey,
yeah.
let
Yeah.
us know.
How many movies have you produced?
Whew. Since 2008, when we got married, we're well over 100.
Wow.
Well over 100
And that includes web series,
Yeah.
shorts,
features.
and features.
What's your favorite to do? Comedies, dramas, or
I would say dramas.
Dramas is our
Yeah.
that
Why
is
is
in our
that?
pocket.
Why
But
is that?
But you've done some horror too.
yeah, we've done horror. We've done
Yeah.
drama, comedy. We just really started embarking. Dexter Jackson
With
was
our
our
first
first comedy,
Comedy, yeah.
that we kind of embarked on, and then we have a couple things that's in the making for comedy.
You
Yeah.
guys won like
But-
7 awards, I remember, for that.
Yeah. well, Yeah.
You pretty much know
It's
the
like Bobby and
house.
Renee, just stay up there. Just stay on
Right.
stage.
Yeah. Well, that was a fun night. That was a fun night.
It was
It
really
was, it
shocking.
was, yeah.
Because we got there, not, just to be happy to be there. She took her shoes
I
off. We
took
were
my
gonna
shoes
sit there, and we
off.
were gonna be like, all
Yeah, I
right,
was
cool.
like-
So
That was a really magical night.
yeah,
it was.
it
I,
was.
I remember walking up to the Sony studio and saying, "Holy crap!"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because my web series, we had low budget, we had nothing, we had no money.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone like volunteered their time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we shot it in 4 days, and we didn't know what we were doing, me and Eden Young. But when we finally got nominated, we were like, holy crap.
Yeah.
Because we never expected
Right.
to be nominated. That was like a really big deal. And I'm sure you guys were.
Oh, here's the thing. I didn't even let her know that I submitted
He didn't.
because the submission was so much. Like,
Yeah.
because had I told her, she'd have been like, no.
Yeah.
But I just felt, she was like, no, don't do it. But I felt so confident in the comedy, like, you know what, I'm going to do it anyway. And if we get nominated, get accepted, we get to go to California. It'll be our first time. Was that our first time going to?
I think it was.
I think it was.
Yeah, it was our first time in California. So yeah, so we're like, let's make the best. No, it wasn't the first time in California.
Oh, because we went for our anniversary.
Yeah, anniversary.
Yeah.
So, but we wanted to go back to
Second time.
California. So I look at it's a getaway trip for her. And then we get a chance to go meet around some other creative people. That's when I reached out to you on Facebook and try to get know people when we get out there, because in this industry it's best to know people. Saying, hey, we're coming out to California, to work or to meet people or just go to this event. I want to be able to be around other creative people.
Yeah.
It's just how I like to to roll, and learn some stuff. And I watched All About Mine. I was like, oh man, this is great.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
this is freaking cool. When is season 2 coming out? You know what I'm saying? So
I had a couple of producers. They said this is a series, and I was like, oh god, if only I could get everyone together again. But
yeah, you know what? I mean, it the way it ended,
Did
it was.
you film everything here?
no, we filmed it all in Los Angeles.
Oh,
So you
man.
did. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
Okay, yeah,
I
and
want to
that-
know what happens. I really want to know.
That well, we wrote 6 scripts after, and they're great. In fact, I can't share them, but
Yeah.
6 scripts we wrote, and it tells the whole story.
Okay.
And in the end, there's the
Don't
ending,
say
and I
nothing.
can't say
At
it.
the end Catherine, at the end, there usually is an ending.
Well, the ending is you would never guess, and
Okay.
too bad we can't do it, but for other reasons. But anyway, so networking that's a process in itself.
Oh yeah. I mean, think about it. I mean, we met you guys.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And and I'm quite sure, the opportunity when we did Red Herring, it was a networking opportunity. You guys are good at what you're doing, but it was also, hey, I know Pete, I know Catherine. Hey, you guys are busy. Let's do this project together. So I know so the thing about networking that people don't understand is that it's not what you offer, but what you can offer someone else.
Yes.
And I think people go into networking thinking, oh, well, I need this, I need that, but they're not saying what they can offer the next person. So if everybody go into networking thinking, okay, well, I'm good with a camera, or I'm good at this, I'm good at that, and you're good at this situation, so, well, let's get together and create something. But we so much, well, I need this, so if you can't give me what I want, I don't have no use for you. You know what I'm saying? So
One,
that's the thing.
in Hollywood, 1 and 1 has to equal
You have
3.
4.
Yeah.
Not 2. It has to
Yeah.
equal 3.
Yeah. So, so that's the situation. So, that's one of the things that we try to accomplish. Like, hey, if I can't offer you something to help your project, then I don't think I'm a use for you.
Because one thing we do ask, like, people are like, I want to collaborate. Well, what is it that we can do for you?
Right.
Well, what is it that you feel as though that we can do for you?
Right.
And if it's not, if it's something that we can't do for you and vice versa, then no, we're not going to collaborate. That don't mean that we can't be associates
Right.
or friends, but it's just that the working relationship is just not there.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because everybody got scripts, everybody got ideas, but sometimes it's not just about that with resources, locations. It is outside of the creative process. Hey, my cousin is the doorman of this producer. You know what I'm saying? So it's stuff like that. That you try to get in, but everybody wants to be. Oh well, if my stuff not going to the top first, then
I don't
have
no
no need for you.
Yeah.
Or what we're hearing now is that people are paying producers to be in their movies.
Oh, wow.
I'm still shocked at that notion, but it is what it is.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you talking about for funding?
No, not funding. Just you would think that would be the case.
Yeah.
But they were paying because they want to be in the movie.
Wow.
As
That's so
whatever.
desperate.
And yeah.
I mean, you can create your own content.
Right. Take that
and,
money.
And then when you
Take
see
that
these
money.
people, you're like, okay, we've had auditions. Why haven't you ever auditioned?
Right.
Like, why haven't we ever come across you?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And we know that our paths cross some kind of way, on social media at least. But
yeah, but they would rather pay for it to be in a movie as opposed to actually auditioning and working for it. Because you got to think about it. If I'm a producer and I know that you're an actor, you're paying to be in a project, then I'm already automatically thinking you're not a real actor.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm turned off.
I'm turned off by it. But at this
You're
point,
selling your soul.
you're selling it, right? Exactly. So and sometimes that might not be the case. They just don't know. They think this is the path they need to take, and that's not the path you need to take. You should not be paying no one to be in any project. If you're doing it for free, or they're paying you to be in it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
And it's one of the
that's
things
on
that
the
you
option.
learned in my class.
Those are
Teach real
only
life
two
stuff.
options. Yeah, there's only two options that should be happening. If someone said, or unless if you're paying, then you should be credited as a producer. You should be, yeah.
Right.
I mean, because you're helping
Yeah.
fund the project.
movie. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So if you're paying, then you want producer credit, and then you want some say so in how this project is going to turn out.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I want to thank you guys for being on the Creative Process podcast.
Yeah, thank you.
And what about your
Yeah, give
website?
the audience your contact information.
Okay, well, you can reach us on our website at TPN and the number 1.com. That's Tom, Pat, Nancy, short for the People's Network and the number 1.com.
TPN.
On our social media, you can reach Bobby at
Bobby M. Peoples on Facebook. And then on Instagram is the same thing. You won't see a lot of pictures on Instagram because
We're
I'm
still learning.
Yeah, I'm still learning.
to work
I'm almost
Instagram.
50 years old, so
We're
it's
kind of
like,
old school.
you know.
So Facebook is the thing for us.
Yeah.
On Facebook, you can find myself at Renee Warren Peoples, as well as on Twitter and on Instagram, Renee Warren Peoples.
So the creative process continues.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
See you guys next time. Thank you.
Peace.
Peace out.